All right, so I am not a YouTuber or anything like that, but I did order the Ignatius Catholic Study Bible, Old and New Testament. It has arrived today. Pre-ordered it in August of this year, and it's now showing up. So I saw there was kind of a need, at least in the YouTube space, for kind of just a quick overview of the Bible. I know that Dr. Scott Hahn did a few videos, but it was more explaining the philosophy and all of the time and effort that went into, um, making this study Bible. I'm kind of a Bible connoisseur. I have all kinds of Bibles, and I know that in at least the Protestant Bible space, there's a lot of reviews and Bible reviewers. But in particular, with this one being so new and just not as many people in that space, I thought this could be useful. So I don't want it to take too long. The Bible is about 10 and a quarter tall, about 7 and a quarter wide, and then just shy of 3 inches when it comes to how deep it is or thick it is. So it is definitely a big one. I do have the ESV Study Bible, which is kind of a very popular, if not the most popular study Bible that there is. And this one is, I think, about half an inch in terms of the footprint on both directions, maybe half an inch shorter, and then like when it comes to thickness, including covers on both, and this one is cowhide, so it is a little more flexible, but this one is, I want to say, 3/4 of an inch less in its thickness, so even bigger than the ESV if someone has one of those. So first impressions are, it's a very, very well-made Bible. I think at the price point, this is the hardback, and I believe they have some leather edition that is available as well. But this being the hardback, very well constructed, high quality at the price point that they're selling it at, which is always wonderful. As you flip open here, you can see the title page here and some of the printing information. It's printed in India, as you can see in that bottom left corner. And then in terms of contents, I can flip through this very quickly just so you can get an overview of the contents that might be of interest to someone. And this is not the best video, but it'll at least give somebody a little more insight before they purchase it on whether or not they want to. And so here you have an introduction to the Study Bible by Dr. Scott Hahn, and know that there's some introductory writings here. I haven't read this, any of this yet. Canon of Scripture, salvation history, and then an introduction to Pentateuch, which is pretty standard for most study Bibles, and then an introduction to Genesis as well. And then you'll have that, of course, like your standard study Bible with an introduction to each book and an outline of the book itself. Flipping in here, you can see that it's going to be double column for the text of Scripture, double column for the notes. Through here you have word study helps. There's articles that are spaced throughout as well. The page is really opaque, so there's not a lot of bleed through, which is, always great, that you don't have to deal with a lot of text bleeding through, especially with direct light. It does really well and performs really well. You can't tell as much due to my lighting and whatnot, but this is a cream colored paper, which I always love the cream colored paper as opposed to the very bright white paper. It feels very great. It's not as it's not a super heavyweight, but it is not that thin tissue paper style pages, which is always good. And then I think it's going to have a sewn binding as well, which is very important for something this heavy as well, because that helps with the construction of it and keeping it all together. Let's see. Don't want to make this too much longer. You have introductions in the back. I'll let you see some of those extra study helps. You have index, the charts and maps, topical essays, word studies, index to doctrines. And then I know I'm not a Catholic, but there is some of the liturgical calendar rotations and readings as well to help with that. And I think there's even a list, I might have skipped over it, but a list of all here's the liturgical year rotation, 3-year rotation. And then I think there was even a list of all the articles that may have been at the front, but those are kind of placed throughout the reading of the scriptures, like this one right here, actually, in Matthew 2. And hopefully that gives you a decent oversight of the Bible. That way you can at least make an informed decision on buying this Bible for yourself or someone else. And if you have any questions, I'll maybe try to keep an eye on the comments to try to help anybody out. Thanks.